Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I'm Omer. I'm from the Monday developer community. Today, we will talk about the app feature migration from the old infrastructure to the new infrastructure. And I'll let my colleagues to present everything around it. So we will have, first of all, the why, what's in it for you. Then we will have a live demo, frequently asked questions, and Q&A that you can ask us anything you would like to know around the migration. You can drop your question in the Q&A, and we will try to address it during the final phase of the webinar. So with me today, we have Noah. She's our product manager of Automations Framework. Daniel is a tech lead for the Automations Framework, and Maor is one of our software engineers in Automation Framework. So thank you very much for being here with us. And yeah, let's start. So Noah, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Why are we here? As you know, automations and Monday in general are evolving, and it's time for your app to evolve as well. So today we will talk about an important shift in how automations are built across Monday. I assume you all know we are consolidating all automation creation into a single workflow-based infrastructure. It means we're no longer supporting the legacy integration for sentence builder feature, which will eventually be deprecated. And yeah, let's start with the why are we migrating. One of the biggest benefits of migrating is distribution expansion, right? Once you migrate, your app becomes available in the new automation builder, in workflows, in AI-powered experiences like Sidekick, and in new features we release with the apps, like the active version, the gradual release, the app manifest, a lot of small features that are becoming more and more powerful and are not supported in the legacy feature and are supported in the new infrastructure. So all of this dramatically improves the discoverability of your app. It increases the adoption across different Monday experiences, and it doesn't require rebuilding any feature. It's like once you convert the legacy feature into the new infrastructure, it's built in. You get all these products in for the same blocks, the same actions will appear in all of these products. The second thing that is really important is for you as developers that basically now in the new system, there's no more remapping logic per surface. There's no duplication in integrations. You don't need to create one feature for each product or surface. You build it once and you get it in all the products. I think the most important one is credentials that is now centralized under one feature that can be supported across all products. It means that even if the end user is connected to a third party, they continue to be connected across all. Even if they connected from automations, they will also be connected already in workflows. They don't need to do the authentication process again. And also for you, it makes your life easier because there are fewer edge cases. There are lower long-term maintenance costs. And in general, the architecture is cleaner, and I think it's a huge benefit for you. The last point is also important. In the end, this is mandatory. It means that the new automation builder will reach 100% of Monday users by the end of April. It means that all the new app capabilities that are being built are built on the new framework and not the legacy one. The integration for sentence builder is now officially considered legacy. It means it's gonna get limited support. It means there's no future expansion. And this is not a temporary experiment. This is the direction we're heading to. So we really recommend doing the migration as early as you can. The earlier you'll migrate, the sooner you benefit from the benefits we just mentioned, the expanded distribution. These are the main points. We'll jump to Daniel to see how it works in action.
Cool. So, hi everyone, I'm Daniel. I'm gonna show you a live demo. One sec, I'm just sharing my screen. Okay. Amazing. So for this demo, and just making sure, yeah. So I'm gonna have, like I have this application, which currently only has the integration for Sentence Builder, the legacy integration for Sentence Builder. And I have like behind the scenes, I have a Postman a mock server, which will help us like to play with it and see things working. Um, just so you can see, like I have a bunch of actions and things. So I'm gonna go over this integration for Sentence Builder. I'm gonna configure an automation, and then we're gonna run the migration and see what's created and how it looks like in the new builders. Yeah, and they'll talk also about like a bit about maybe edge cases, and we'll continue after that. So I have in this integration for Sentence Builder some field types. They are very basic, just a text field too, apparently. But yeah, it's just like a text field and a list field with some remote options, which we'll see working soon. And demo trigger, action block, workflow block, sorry, and it receives a board from the context and it outputs the text field, and that's the sentence. And we have both the subscribe and unsubscribe, and also a demo action. And last but not least, a recipe that stitches these two workflow blocks together, the demo trigger and demo action. Cool. So I'll go ahead and like right now my application is live. So I'm gonna go ahead, just moving all these Zoom components from the way. So if I go and I go in here and go to the old automation builder, this is something new. Like before the new automation builder, if you would click create automation, it will always go to the legacy builder. But now, when you're exposed to the new, you're gonna have this old automation builder, and I'm gonna talk about how you can get exposed to that as well. But we're just gonna see demo trigger and demo action. And here already we have a list field, just so you can see. I got a request to my mock server, and it returned this the options that we see here. So I'm gonna choose red socks, and I'm gonna create this automation. Cool. And what's happened is I got a subscribe request. So I can take from the subscribe request the webhook, and it's already configured with my authorization JWT. I will talk about later, like after the migration, what is this, like what's the value here in case you need a reminder or maybe you haven't done it before. So I'm triggering my trigger block, and so now my automation is going to run, and I'm gonna see like it called my regular block, and we can see here in my regular block that I get the red socks that I configured. So up until now, this is nothing new. This is just like a brief overview of this application. Also, we can find the DJ, forgot what I call it. We can find the recipe. I need to uncheck this checkbox because I did some iterations. But 1 sec, I will do that. Cool. I'm gonna refresh. Okay, here we can see my the recipe from the legacy integration builder. Cool. So now I have this integration, this legacy integration for Sentence Builder, and I want to migrate it. So the first thing is I have to be in a draft version. The second thing is I have to make sure that in Monday Labs that I have developer mode on. Okay, so these are the two most important things. And then I can just click on the start migration. It will give me a nice overview of what's going to be migrated. For some of your apps, this can be hundreds of features. And I will click start and the process will start running. So as you can see, it starts creating features for each of the components in my integration for Sentence Builder. So if before we had everything grouped together inside of the integration for Sentence Builder, now each of these feature has some value that when it's by its own. So I'm gonna go inside. Sorry, 1 second. Refresh my page. Cool. So we can see here the list field that was converted to the new infrastructure. And I have here basically the same configuration that I had before. It's a string, and I have here the remote options URL. An important note is that now I have this section of deprecated API payload that is marked as true. Because there are some breaking changes between the old infra and the new infra, so if like after you run the migration, we by default turn on this flag, so your existing backend can be used for these field types and blocks and whatever, but we strongly recommend like to turn it off and test it so you can use the new payload because if you keep like using the deprecated API payload, there will be a point that some features won't be available to you or you won't be supported in some builders. So it's strongly recommended that like you gradually remove this flag from all of your features. Cool. So that was the list field. The text field is very basic. It's only like a text schema. And we have here the demo trigger, which also has the deprecated API payload. And like it has the input field of a board and the output field of text, the subscribe URLs. And now this is something that is kind of new. So because this block, the automation block, can be used in different products in Monday. So now you have a section for each of these products. So Workflow Builder, it's a new experience to build more sophisticated automations. By default, it's turned on after the migration. And Automation Builder is what we know as the sentence builder. So all the configurations that we had before that are actually specific for the automation builder are gonna be in this section, that the board is coming from the context and the sentence itself. So this was the trigger, and here we have the action, which is very similar. it receives also a list, board, and a text field. And here we can see that the text field is coming from the trigger output, but a very similar way to configure things. And also we have, for the recipe that we created, we have now what we're calling automation template, and it's the same different UI to configure something very similar. Cool. So what I want to do now is show you how I can configure. I'm just going to refresh to make sure that all my features are loaded. But now I'm going to use the new automation builder by just clicking create automation. And then if I write demo trigger, this is the new trigger block and demo action. And we can see here also the remote fields. It's handling like the same payload, and it just works. Like I have the same backend, and for me, if some API was breaking, I don't care because the use deprecated API flag is turned on. I'm gonna choose a green socks, and I'm gonna click create automation. Cool. And we're gonna see this subscribe. So it's gonna look very similar. Just moving some Zoom stuff out of the way. And I'm gonna call it. And it triggered my block. I'm gonna refresh. And here, this is my block that was triggered with the same payload structure for my backend. Okay, so I want to mention here a few things because sometimes, like I noticed that people are struggling with how do you trigger the webhook. So the authorization header here is a JWT that if you go, for example, to JWT IO, you can actually create it. You just go to JWT encoder, and from your app, you take your signing secret, you copy it, and then you insert it into the secret here. And in the payload, you need to have app ID and then your application ID, which you can find here in the URL. So I'm just gonna take this ID, I'm gonna put it here, and this is what you can put in the header when you trigger. I'm just gonna show it again. Like I inserted the exact header, trigger it, it was successful. Okay, so this is one thing. Another thing that is cool is that now I can use the blocks that I converted. I can use them in the new workflow builder. So we're gonna see it in 1 second. As you can see, I have here demo trigger, and because the workflow is not specific to any board, I need to choose a board. When I chose the demo trigger in the automation build, like the new automation, then I didn't need to choose a board. But the way it happens is because in the demo trigger, we specify that the board can come from the context, but this is specifically for the automation builder. In workflow builder, the user has to configure it because it can run on any boards. And we also have here the demo action. I'm not gonna configure it, but just so you can see. Another thing that I didn't mention is that after you migrate, you can click here and see like what happened. It could be that you have some errors, some fields or blocks or that are not supported in migrating automatically. You should have their information if it's something that is retriable or that you need to manually fix. Sometimes there are like certain edge cases that you might need to construct those features by yourself. You can also, like, if you did some changes in your integration, like in the legacy integration for Sentence Builder, you can also click on migrate feature to the new infrastructure and click on it, like start it again. It won't duplicate, it will override. So I can even like run it. It's just gonna override the values I have here in my features. So be aware that if you change things manually, for example, let's say I change this list field, blah, blah, blah. Then if I'm gonna run the migration again, it's gonna override this text. So be aware of that. Another thing that's worth noticing, worth mentioning, is in regards to the authorization URL. So maybe many of you, I'm like not exactly sure how many, but some of you at least use the authorization URL. And from our research, we think there are two main ways that you use the authorization URL. And I want like to show you how you like can transition with it, because the authorization URL is something that is not supported in the new infrastructure. So one use case that we saw that is repeating is the usage of authorization URL to actually make API calls to Monday. So I have here, for example, this Monday API query. And if I go to my block in the request header, I'm gonna have here in this the authorization URL. Just gonna copy it. And if I take it again to JWT.io and decode it, I didn't copy it correctly, I think. Yeah. One sec. Cool. So I decoded it and I have inside a short-lived token. I think it's still valid. It might have been past too many minutes between when it was created, but I think it's going to be okay. So I can just use that header, that token as the authorization header, and I'm going to send it. Yeah, I think, okay, one second. I'll trigger it again. So I'll have a ready to use token. Cool. So you see it returned my name. And this token, it's gonna have the permissions that you insert in the OAuth permission here. So right now I only have me and me read. So this is the only permissions I can do. I can even show you that if I save it, I think maybe the token is already has, yeah, but I'm not authorized for this field or type. So this is one use case that we saw authorization URL being used for. Another use case was to connect to third-party applications like Microsoft, Gmail, whatever. And for this, we actually have a dedicated credentials appFeature. So I'm just gonna configure it with you quickly. So I have for this like a mock OAuth provider. Mock credentials. I think the client ID and secret do not matter for this example. Blah, 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 blah. And then we're gonna all authorize. Cool. Offline access. And we're gonna use the Google ones. Right. Okay, and when we create a credential app feature, actually like the only thing that we need from you, the developers, is an endpoint that when you receive an access token, you can provide us information of how this user should be displayed. So I also prepared this in my Postman mock. I'm just gonna use it 1 second. Cool. So I'm gonna save it. Mock credentials. And then once I have the mock credentials, I'm gonna go to my action and I attach it by adding the credential here. And now when I save it, we're gonna configure an automation and we'll see how it looks a bit different. So I'm gonna go back, go to the automation. And then demo trigger, it's gonna be the same. Now I have this new area here, and when I click add new account, it doesn't really matter. For this demo, everything works. So I have here like wait, let's see, maybe I forgot something. Okay, this is like what my the provider unique identifier. So we can also see like what I received in the endpoint. I received the actual access token, and this is like what I returned. Yeah, I might have a small issue. I'm gonna try again. I might have a small issue with how this credential is configured. Yeah, I think, let me try 1 sec, and if not, we're gonna skip it. Um, let's try that again. Cool. Yeah, so it was something with the mocking. Okay, so I'm gonna create this automation, and I just want you to see how it looks like when your block receives like when your block that is configured with a credential, how you actually use it. So I'm gonna trigger it. Cool. So now in the request body of the block that I had credentials configured, I have here the access token that I can use and call the third party. In this case, the third party is like bScepter OAuth mock. So it's not really usable. But yeah, that's like how you can actually use it and also have all the other information. Cool. So I'm gonna pass next to Maor, who is gonna go over frequently asked questions.
All right, thank you, Daniel and Noah. Let me share my screen. Okay, so that was a lot of new information for you. So I tried to gather some common questions, and I already saw some questions in the chat. So I hope after this part of the lecture, you will get some answer to a question, and after that, we'll go to the open question part. So let's start. So what is actually happening when you run the migration? So we're taking all the fields and actions and recipes you get in the old infra and converting them, as Daniel showed in the demo, to the new infra. As you see, the migration is an automatic wizard tool that does the work for you. But all the old items that you had before is untouched, so the system can still use them, and nothing is required from your side in order to keep them working. The next one, what is the plan for currently running automation? So I already saw that question in the chat. So as I said, the already configured automation in the integration for sentence builder in the old infra will not be touched. So they will keep working the same way they work now. The only thing that will happen that after the release of the full release of the new builder, you will not be able to use the actions and the triggers you configured in the old infra with the new builder. So if a user of your application will try to run automation, to create automation from scratch, it won't find your old actions and trigger. So our recommendation is to start and migrating a thing so you can the users can use your actions and triggers in the new info. The next one is what will happen if you don't migrate. So as I said, nothing from the already configured automation will be touched. They will keep working even after the 3rd of April, the official date of the deprecation. But from that date, as I said, the customer won't be able to create new automation from scratch with the old info. But the existing one will keep running as long as your backend supports the application you had in the old info. So as Daniel showed in the demo, the migration should be very simple in most cases. You just run the wizard as Daniel showed. You create a draft version and you just press the run migration and it starts the work for you. As Daniel showed, after the migration is running, you get a brief of what actually happened, what succeeded or not succeeded, and if something was failed, you will get indicative error, so you can understand what was the error, and you can, in most cases, fix it. Will require to fix it manually. In specific cases, as Omer said in the chat, we have the community group, which you can raise your question there, and a lot of other developers can share their knowledge too. And we are also answering some questions in the community. So what do you need to do next? So first, as Daniel showed, you are going to your application, you are creating a new draft version, and you click the migration button. In most cases, we hope this is the end of the flow. Your application was converted successfully. You can test your application while it's still in active version, but make sure not to make it promote to live before you test your application and see that everything is working as expected. And after you finish that, you can publish your application and everything will be supported. As Noah said before, you will be able to use your actions and triggers in all the products in Monday that support them. As Daniel showed, the workflow and the new automation builder. But make sure, as I said, keep your backend active until full deprecation in order to support already configured automations.
Okay, so I think we're good. If you have any questions that we didn't address, please post them in the community. I send the link in the chat. We will be happy to answer there. Or if you have some edge case or something, I also send the link for opening support ticket so we can help you directly and try to find and solve the issue you have. So everyone, thank you very much for joining. Thank you, team, for handling this webinar. And I wish you all a great weekend. And thank you again for being here. We will send by email a form for feedback to make sure that the webinar was good. And we will be happy to have you filling it. So thanks again and have a great weekend. See you. Bye-bye.